Welcome to the Know Before You Go Travel Show, where we share all the latest travel tips, tricks, and insights to make your next vacation the best one yet. So sit back, relax, grab a cocktail, and enjoy the show with Penyak Travel's George Penyak and our senior travel consultant, Janet Penyak.
What is up, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
We are back for another edition of the Know Before You Go Travel Show, and happy Monday out there to everybody.
Monday Blues.
It's Monday Fun Day. No, not Monday Blues.
I guess it's Monday Fun Day.
No, it's definitely Monday Fun Day. We've had a busy last few weeks, haven't we?
Yes.
Got a trip coming up. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. We got a really fun trip coming up, which we can't wait to have a show on.
Yes, we're
what are we
going to
doing?
have lots to talk about. So this coming Saturday, so in 5 days, we're leaving for Cancun. And we're going to be staying at the Secrets Playa Mujeres for 5 nights. That's all inclusive. And then we're staying at the Ritz-Carlton for 3 nights. So can't wait to come back, have a podcast on both of those, and also reignite the debate on all-inclusive versus non-all-inclusive.
Yeah, we're going to have a fresh debate because those are two really good properties. We're talking about the Ritz-Carlton there in Cancun, and then also the Secrets property. It's going to be very, very interesting. And, we got a great question of the day from a fan, too. So we got a fan Instagrammed us. Thank you so much for the question. And we're going to backload that, though. But it's going to have something to do with the all-inclusive versus non-inclusive. I think a lot of people ask that question when they're wanting to book. And I think you've got some mixed advice out there that you might get from other people that might not be fully accurate. So we're going to try to debunk that. But yeah, you got to tilt your mic down a little bit.
I have to what?
Tilt your mic down.
Oh.
Yep, there we go.
That's
there
fine.
we go.
Sorry, I'm short.
Mucho bueno.
I'm 5 feet tall.
I am jacked up, though, for Cancun. Man, do we need it. But we're going to have a great show on both properties, and then we're going to do that big episode on all-inclusive versus a cruise. Not now, but then.
Yes, I was going to say, so let's get to what today's about.
What are we talking about now? We are going to talk about a little Jamaica.
Yeah, we're going to take you around Jamaica.
Yeah, we're going to take you around Jamaica. There should be some Three Little Birds playing. Let me see if it's actually coming through. Oh, yeah. Okay. We're going to talk a little Jamaica. It's coming through.
Who doesn't love Jamaica? It's one of our favorite places. And one thing I want to say is do not judge Jamaica because you've been there on a cruise.
Yeah, we just covered this a little bit on a very recent podcast, but we were thinking of there's so many different areas of Jamaica, and they have different styles. And I think depending on the type of traveler you are, whether you're traveling with a family, whether you're traveling as like a bachelorette party or with a group of friends, whether you like the beach, whether you're rowdy, whether you like to party, whether you like to chill, all those really matter on what type of property you pick. Because you could be a group of partiers that like to go all night, and you could easily pick a property that doesn't cater to that, where everyone's asleep by 9 o'clock.
That's right.
We're more like, you and I are like more old people. We don't party.
Well, no, because after you hang out and drink all day, then
if you haven't just pool drinks all day at the pool by like 9 o'clock,
I'm done. Yeah, I'm ready
toast.
for bed.
After I've had a good meal, good to go.
Yeah.
So, really good show. So we're going to take you around Negril. We're going to go through each of the... I'm sorry, not Negril. We are going to go to Negril.
We are going to go Negril.
But we're going to take you around Jamaica.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about a little bit about each little area, what resorts are there, and what you need to look out for.
Yes.
And then maybe we might do a little coronavirus update, since that's like a hot topic.
It's a very hot topic right now.
And we are not health professionals, but we have a thought on traveling and stuff. I got thoughts on like traveling in general and trying not to get sick.
Right.
Because all I hear when I fly, because I fly so much, are people hacking and coughing in planes. And
I know.
It's disgusting.
Yes. All right, now, getting to Jamaica.
All right, so let's start with Jamaica. So let's go ahead and start with the most popular place. So there's 2 main airports in Jamaica. Let's just break it down like this. You have 2 big airports there, right?
Yeah, there's Kingston and Montego Bay. Generally speaking, you're going to fly into Montego Bay for all the different areas. And the areas that we're going to be talking about, which are, the main tourist areas, are going to be Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, and Negril, and then like the South Coast area.
Yeah, and so whether you book with a travel agent or not, you want to be mindful of if you're booking with a good travel agent, they'll know exactly which airport to book you in. But we've actually got quote requests before where it's like, they tried to fly into the wrong airport. And it's like, whoa, you don't want to fly into that airport because that's a 4-hour drive after you land. Jamaica.
Somebody did actually send me a screenshot once from Travelocity, and it was for Jamaica, and it was for a Montego Bay hotel, but Travelocity had pulled the air or I don't know if they had searched it that way. I'm not sure, but into Kingston, which Kingston is a long ways away from Montego Bay. So you definitely want to make sure that you know what you're flying into. So really the only reason you'd fly into Kingston is if you were going into Ocho Rios and the flight times worked out. It's only it's like a 2-hour drive from Kingston to Ocho Rios, and it's about hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes from Montego Bay to Ocho Rios. So
that's not that bad.
Right. So if there was, a significant price difference or something, then I think that it would be worth it.
So that's where Ocho Rios, so Ocho Rios is one of the few destinations then within Jamaica that you could fly into both airports and kind of price shop them.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've always known Kingston is far away.
Yeah.
And we've never flown in at Kingston. We've always flown through Montego Bay.
No, I'd like to go there, though. I'd like to do a city tour there. Yeah, but never been there.
I've never been there. I mean, it's kind of like their big district, right? It's their main hub for everything. We always kind of gone to the more leisure areas, but
right. Yeah.
All right. So that being said, where do you want to start?
I'm going to start in Ocho Rios.
You want to start in Ocho Rios?
I think we can start. That's actually the first place that we ever went to in Jamaica. It was the first place that we stayed was in Ocho Rios.
Where was that? Remind me of that.
That was at the Sandals Ochi.
Oh, yeah, that was Sandals Ochi. That was a really, really good property. That's what we just did. We just did the podcast.
We did a podcast on that. Yes.
I'm having so many brain farts nowadays. Like, I don't even remember what the most recent podcasts are.
I know. It's hard for me to remember what happened 5 minutes ago. So.
I'm having, lapse of amnesia over here. I don't know what's going on. We've been really busy. By the way.
Lapse of amnesia? Or lapse of memory?
Yeah. I don't know. You know what I mean.
You can't even talk.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yes. So in Ocho Rios, if you are wanting to be in an area that has a lot to do off resort, then Ocho Rios is definitely your spot because there's tons of things like Dunn's River Falls State Park is there. That's where you can go and hike the waterfalls. There's Mystic Mountain, which is like an adventure park, and you can do zip lining, and they have a sky coaster and Jamaican bobsledding. You can also do swimming with the dolphins. There's a park there for that. And then it's about 45 minutes from there up into the mountains. You can go to 9 Mile, which is where Bob Marley Museum is, and he's buried, and yeah.
Oh, and what do you do when you go see Bob?
Well, apparently if you go into the mausoleum, something like that. If you go in there, they say you can take a hit of the marijuana.
It is illegal there.
Well,
but I bet it was
in large quantities. It's illegal.
Yeah, but I bet it was at Bob's request that.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I think it's like a misdemeanor if you're caught with that. I don't know.
No, you can have it in small amounts there.
But I know certain resorts, specific resorts, don't want you having it.
Oh no!
Yeah,
but
it's kind of weird for you if you're a traveler. Listen, I'm sure a lot of people go there and puff it up, and more power to you. It's definitely very accessible there for sure.
Oh right. I mean, if you're at an adults only resort there, you probably will smell it at least one time.
Yeah, so I think that area. What are some other properties? There's not many other properties that are in Ochi, right? Or Ocho Rios, other than Sandals Ochi, because it's kind of far out there. It's a smaller community, right?
Incorrect.
What?
No, I'm
thinking of South Coast.
It's a big cruise port. There is a cruise port there, and so there's lots of shops, and there's a big town area right in there. And as far as resorts go, if you're looking for adults only, I would suggest either of the 2 Sandals resorts that are there, which is Sandals Ochi or Sandals Royal Plantation.
And that'll be couples only too.
Yep, and that's adults only and couples only. There's also another little bit more affordable option, which are couples resorts, and that's Couples Tower Isle and Couples Sansuchi. And I think either of those options are great all-inclusives for if you're going for an adult vacation. And if you're going to take the family, then I would look at the Moon Palace Jamaica Grand.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good
And
one.
I'm not really, just to be completely honest with you, I'm not really a fan of the Beaches Ocho Rios Resort there. The last time I was there, I think it needed to be updated.
Yeah, I
so
remember that.
I'm not really a fan of that. I think the Moon Palace is a better choice.
Yeah, I do remember that it definitely did need to be updated. And listen, I know we got an email the other day, or someone said, it was like a review. Someone changed their review on Apple or something and said that we talk about secrets and Sandals all the time. They think we have some financial connection or something. That's no, we
don't.
we don't. So if we're going to call a spade a spade. If a resort needs to be updated, whether it's secrets, couples, Sandals, whatever, we're going to tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're just transparent like that. But yeah, no, that one definitely did need to be updated. And there was also, there's room categories that will tell you. There was that one room category we stayed in in Turks that definitely need to be updated. It was the French Village.
Or the Caribbean Village.
Caribbean
and the
Village
French Village. They both need to be.
They need to be updated.
Yeah. And then two other resorts that I want to mention in Ocho Rios that the name is a pretty popular brand. It's the Rio, or it's Rio Ocho Rios that's there. Sorry, not two, but that one. And that I'm not a fan of either. It's not one that I recommend.
Yeah, I know. So that one is probably on the cusp. That's like it's a budget property, right? It is all inclusive. You are getting an all inclusive experience, but I just don't know. I'm not confident in the consistency and the quality of what you're going to get there.
No, not at that resort. No,
you kind of get what you pay for in that. If you want a different experience, now I don't think it's bad if you're on a budget. Hey, everyone's been balling on a budget. If you're balling on a budget, then you can probably ball out there, right?
Yeah,
balling on a budget. That's a neat little play on words. But again, like I think good travel agents, like I feel like you just have to. You can't just book anything because you have to put your name behind something, and I think we do that really well. Is if we're going to book something, we want our name and our brand to be behind it. We want you to have a good time, and that matters to us. And so there's certain properties that we're a little uneasy about, and Rio's one that's on the cusp. They have a couple in their portfolio that aren't bad.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that when we move along to the next city.
Oh, I'm jumping ahead. So Ocho Rios, so high level it, so it's kind of an uppity place, right? You can get the best of both. If you want to pick a place and have some fun late at night and party, you can.
Yes.
Then they also have options that are a little quieter. Like Royal Caribbean is very quiet.
Royal Plantation. Thank God I'm on this podcast.
I know. I need coffee today. I need more coffee.
I guess you do.
I am off my game right now.
Yes.
I'm
so Royal Plantation,
game.
Sandals Royal Plantation is pretty quiet. Sandals Ochi is pretty upbeat. And I would say that Couples Tower Isle and Couples Sanssouci are a good mix of both. And then if you're looking for a great family option there, I would suggest the Moon Palace Jamaica.
No, before you.
And I would suggest that over the beaches Ocho Rios.
You're dropping facts on us today.
Yes, and just remember, it is a great place for if you want a lot of things to do off property.
Yeah, I do remember that about staying at Sandals Ochi, that there was a lot to do off property, and I think that's pretty cool. And it's an easy area where you can get out and mingle. Like you're not going to feel like you're off the beaten path too much, if you know what I mean. Like I think a lot of people do it, and you're not going to be. Let's say you're not going to feel like out of place, because I think there's going to be a lot of tourists doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's a big city.
You're not going to be off the beaten path.
Right. Yeah, it's a bigger city. So.
Yeah, and I got that one. Royal Caribbean is the one that's in
Montego Bay, which, speaking of Montego Bay.
Is that are we parlaying that right into
That's where I was going next.
Which, by the way, guys, let me pause. Thank you guys so much for the positive feedbacks. We love it. Positive reviews. We would love a 5-star review. If you're enjoying the podcast, please go ahead and tap the 5-star review. We would love it. Love it, and it would be super awesome if you did that for us. And if you have some really kind words to say, we love hearing that too in the review section. So we appreciate that. And then, as always, if you want more information on any resort we're talking about, feel free to hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or directly at PeñacTravel.com. Goes right to me and Janet, and we can definitely get you hooked up with more information. And thank you to everyone who's been reaching out to us. We've gotten a lot of love from the show, and it's just really cool to hear back, because I feel like on this podcast we do all the talking.
Yep.
And then we're starting to hear back consistently from a lot of people, and it's really cool.
It is pretty cool. Yes. I've been inundated
but it's
with
awesome.
requests. I know it's awesome. So, going to Montego Bay.
Montego Bay.
Yes, which that's where the main airport is. Very large airport there, and I think that it's a great destination if you're going to just be doing a quick stay, so like 3 or 4 nights, because then that way when you land, your resort is like 20 minutes or so away.
Yeah, and one thing to do, so if you're booking your flights, you always want to consider the proximity to the property from the airport, because you want to know that transfer time, because a lot of times websites won't necessarily tell you it very accurately.
Right.
You really want to understand that. Montego Bay, if you're flying to Montego Bay, it's like 5 to 10 minutes. It's literally right there.
Well, depending on which resort you're at, but yes.
Just about all of them are within, 10 minutes?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay. You're more detailed than me, so.
Yes.
This is why you're the travel agent. I'm I'm just
Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob.
There you go. So, if you're going, for an adult's vacation, then there's 2 Sandals resorts there. There's the Sandals Montego Bay and there's Sandals Royal Caribbean. Those are 5 to 10 minutes away. The Sandals Montego Bay sits right next to the airport. And then another great adult option is there's Secrets resorts there. There's Secrets Wild Orchid and Secrets St. James. No matter which one you stay at, you have free flow access to both.
We've stayed there.
Yes. And then
we've stayed at all of them almost in Montego Bay.
Yep. And then there's also, if you want something, if you're looking for a resort that's a little more upbeat and lively, then I would take a look at the Breathless Resort there.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Riu resorts, there is a newer Riu resort there. It's called Riu Reggae, and that one I do think is a great budget friendly option. If
so that's better. Yeah, that's a better budget friendly than the Rius in Ochi.
Way better. Yeah, it's new, and so everything is clean, refreshed, modern looking, and that is a great budget friendly option, and that's adults only as well.
And you're more likely to find like more, or I guess higher food quality and higher consistency at a property like that Riu versus a Riu in, let's say, Ocho Rios.
Yes, I agree.
And that's why, like, when we make property recommendations, we kind of factor in everything. It is like a kind of a vague thing to do, but we factor in what we feel the quality of the food and beverage are, the service, the accommodations, is the resort updated. There's a lot of things we're factoring when we say that's a good value or that's a good place to stay.
Right.
And if you're too off in one of those categories, sometimes we don't feel comfortable booking that or recommending it because, I mean, to be honest, we have high standards when we travel, and if you're going to take 1 or 2 trips a year, make it awesome. If you're going to take
I agree.
If you're going to take that time away from work and get on a flight and do all that time, try to go for something that you're really, really, really going to have a good experience with, because you only do it once or twice a year.
Yes, absolutely.
I know I'm preaching to the choir.
Well, and as far as activities go, things to do in that area, there is golfing. There's several golf courses in the area, and there is one golf course in Ocho Rios as well. I'll mention that. But I would also suggest you can do ATV riding, and you can do the bamboo river rafting down the Martha Brae River. And then if you do want to swim with dolphins, the closest of that would be in Lucia, which is about an hour outside of Montego Bay. And if you want to, see any waterfalls or any hiking, do anything like that, then you're going to be a little bit away from that. So.
Yeah, we got Margaritaville there too, so you have some touristy stuff to do there too, right?
Yeah. So if you do, if you still want to be off, if you want to go off property and go into town, there is a part of downtown Montego Bay known as the Hip Strip, and it's where there's lots of local restaurants and shops and bars, and there's a Margaritaville there that has a water park.
The water slide goes from the restaurant into the ocean.
Yes, and beware for some reason the guy who tells you when it's okay to go down the slide, he asks for a tip. I don't know why, but he does. So.
I think everyone in Jamaica asks for tips.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
The guy at the bottom of Rick's Cafe where they're cliff diving.
Oh yeah,
you cliff dive into the water, and there's someone down there wanting a tip if you get a little tour of the rocks or something. It's like, what?
Yeah, no, it's funny.
Let me dig in my bathing suit here and get my $5 bill out.
So. And I didn't talk about family-friendly properties there. So of the options there, if you're looking for something family-friendly, I would look at the Jewel Grand Montego Bay. It's a newer resort, but they have a lot of like multi-bedroom units, and so that's really nice because if you have like a family with 5 kids, mom and dad can have a separate room from the kids. So they have 1, 2, and 3 bedroom villas. So that's a really nice option. And then I would also suggest the Royalton Blue Waters, and not the Royalton White Sands because that one needs to be updated, but the Royalton Blue Waters is really good.
Excellent. Yeah. And I think that's something I want to start touching on more throughout our podcast is family-friendly options. We always travel just me and you as couples, so we're always kind of thinking that. But we book so many families, and we have so many great recommendations for that. We stay at family-friendly properties. That'd be great. I think the Ritz-Carlton is going to be a pretty family-friendly property.
Yes.
In Cancun, so we're super excited to check that out. I personally, as I've traveled with you, like we did, one of the things that sticks out to me the most about Montego Bay is the food quality at Secrets Wild Orchid in St. James.
Yes.
I was overly impressed with their food quality and options. And not all inclusives have just like buffets. If you go to some really good ones, they also have like sit down restaurants for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh, right.
Like it's not all like I think if you haven't been to too many of them, 'cause we get a lot of questions about what are the buffets like, and there are buffet options. But
there's always a buffet at all of them.
There's always a buffet option, but there is typically options for sit-down dining as well. And those two properties stuck out to me the most when it comes to food quality.
Yes, very good.
Yeah,
so.
Not the best beach, but food quality for sure.
Yeah, if you want a really nice beach, then I would look at the Sandals Montego Bay, or if you're looking for family friendly, look at the Jewel. Both of those they sit on a great beach. So
Montego Bay too for weddings.
Yes,
I think it's a good wedding destination if you're looking at a destination wedding because the airport's right there. People can make quick trips in and out. Very good for groups, I think, and there's a lot to do off the. It's just like a good blend.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is. Blend. Yeah. So then moving right along.
I feel like we're driving through Jamaica.
We are driving through Jamaica. And right. Just to give you an idea.
Margaritaville.
So I think I said this, but Montego Bay to Ocho Rios, that's going to be about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. And then if you're staying at a hotel or resort in the Montego Bay area, they're all about 20 minutes or so from the airport. And one other good budget-friendly option that I didn't even mention there is the Hilton Rose Hall. That's a good budget-friendly family
that's a nice property
option
too.
As well. Yeah, and it's all-inclusive, and there's a golf course there, so that's really nice. Now,
that's one that we haven't stayed at.
Right, we have not stayed there, no.
It is nice. We have seen it and walked through it. It is very nice. Your phone's blowing up.
Yes, it is.
You're a little Miss Popular.
So, moving along to going to the West Coast, Negril.
Let's take our journey over to the... I should play music like in between... a transition here from city to city.
Well, that's okay. It's a little late for that now.
Love me some Negril. Now listen, I know Negril very well. This is the capital of chill.
This
is the chill capital of the world. This isn't, you can party all night. There are parties going all the time, but it's just such a chill atmosphere.
It is overall a very laid back side of Jamaica.
Service will be slower.
Everything's a little slower there. Yeah, I just want to say expect that. It's, later will be greater. Yeah, man, I'll get it later.
later will be greater, man. Yeah, they're just laid back. So if you like prompt service and your snap of the finger, let's go, do not go to Negril because you won't like it. There's just the culture there is just very relaxed and chill. It is. And you have to vibe with that. I don't think you'll have a good time.
Right.
Which we had to adjust to because we go. And when we got to Negril, we're like, wow, this is like a different pace of service here. But it's not that they don't care. It's just that
it's just a slower. Yeah, it's just a slower pace there.
And I think Negril too for locals. I think Negril is probably one of the cities in Jamaica that if you are born there, chances are you're going to grow up there and stay there and work there. It's like a place that people have been for many years. And I think some of the other ones you can see more transient employees. You'll see more employees that, like at a Sandals resort, you'll see, I came from Sandals Royal Bahamian, or in the Bahamas. That's one where I feel like a lot of the employees, I'm a local. I grew up here. A lot of locals just work there. It's really cool.
Yes. No, I agree. So in Negril, it is famous for the 7 Mile Beach, which is a 7-mile stretch of beach that you can walk. It's beautiful. This side of the island, like I said, very laid back and chill, has amazing sunsets. And if you're going, for the beach and mostly water sports, then this is definitely the place that you want to be. As far as activities go, there's not a whole lot to do on this side outside of water sports, but if you do want some things, you could do swimming with the dolphins in Lucia, which is not too terribly far away. There's also YS Falls near there, which is a waterfall state park. And then
Rick's Cafe.
I was going to say, then you have to go to Rick's Cafe because it's been there since the 70s, and that's a famous restaurant and bar where you can watch people jump off the cliffs into the ocean, and then they also have the locals that go and do that too.
Yeah, Rick's was really cool, and it's very crowded. If you go during a busy time, just be prepared. It's slammed.
Yeah, you go there to watch the sunset, and it gets pretty hopping at night.
It's very hopping. The food's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like an open air bar atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the most upbeat places in Negril.
Oh, it definitely is. That's where everybody goes to watch the sunset.
Yeah. It's got beautiful.
They do.
sunsets.
Yeah, they do like a countdown. It's really nice. Remember the last time we were there? January, and that woman was giving her child, who was maybe 3 years old
that kid
at the most, and he was drinking her beer and
turning up a Corona bottle upside down, or maybe it was definitely some light beer. I can't remember, but
Yeah, it was a light beer.
Little kids rocking a fedora. We were upstairs, like on the upstairs patio part, having some dinner or like really like appetizers.
Yeah, we were having appetizers and drinks.
Just kind of taking it all in. And when you're up there, that's a no before you go travel tip. If you want to just kind of get away from the crowd, you can get a table upstairs. You got to order a little food, I think. But we just got we got like fried calamari or something and a couple drinks.
Yep.
And we're just like taking it all in, watching the cliff divers. It's a really good spot up there. I recommend that.
Yeah, I definitely do, because then you're not
in the crowd.
Chaos. Unless if you want to be in the crowd, then go down there. But
yeah, we like to kind of see it all. So we're sitting up there, perched up, having some calamari. We were drinking a little rum and diets or whatever we were having. And we look down. There's a little bar that's on the lower level. That's just like a little hut bar that you can just go real quickly and grab something.
Yes.
And I saw this kid, and it stuck out to me. He's a little kid in a fedora, of all things, wearing a fedora.
And his mom had him propped up, sitting on the bar.
His baby butt is on the bar.
Yep, and she's ordering more drinks, and then all of a sudden...
They all have beers.
He has a beer in his hand, and he is turning it up, and he's drinking it.
He turned it up like a champ. He turned it up like a 21-year-old frat kid.
I was so in shock.
Yeah, we were both like, oh my gosh, and I almost got it on my phone.
I was going to say, by the time I thought about like getting it, and filming that, because that would have been like gold to have filmed.
I mean, it was terrible. Like, you don't want.
Oh yeah, no, it's terrible.
Like,
it's just like.
By the way, we do not condone this. We were like, it was just very strange, and we were like, holy crap, you know?
Yes, and so I was in such shock though that was happening that I didn't grab my phone out in time.
Yeah, we were just like, that kid just took a big swig out of that beer.
Yeah,
and this was 100% a beer. We weren't that far away. It was clear as day. This was a beer. And I was just like, "Wow, that's different." It's wrong.
I couldn't believe it.
Wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, interesting story. So, as far as where to stay in Negril, so there is a sandals resort there as well. There's also 2 couples resorts there, Couples Negril and Couples Swept Away. Those are both great options. And those are all adults only and couples only. And then if you're looking for family friendly, I would suggest the Beaches Negril. That's a great resort. And then also the Royalton Negril, which is new, and that's also a great resort. And then if you're looking to get kind of crazy.
Oh, let's talk crazy.
There's Hedonism.
I'd do it.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know if I would do it.
I don't think I would do that.
I'm not that wild. I wouldn't do it. I don't care if people do. I think it's cool people that do. You know, it's probably a completely different vibe. I think everyone's always wondered, like, maybe try that out.
Yeah, one thing I will say is go read the reviews on TripAdvisor on Hedonism, just because I haven't done it. No, I haven't done it in a long time, but a long time ago, the reviews were hilarious on there.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, it's just like about being I was bashful sitting there naked at the breakfast table or whatever. But yeah, Hedonism is a nudist resort. I don't think we mentioned that, but
yeah, very popular one too.
Yeah.
And listen, like, hey, if that's your thing, I've heard good things about it. You can actually see it from
the sandals.
You can't see like specifics. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could if you go to the end of the sandals and you look over there, you can see it.
And you can walk down the beach. It's a 7 Mile beach is a public beach, so you can walk. And by the way, it's a public beach. Like you hear these reviews. I read these reviews about Jamaica. It's like, oh, someone offered me weed. That was so awful, and they make it like it was some awful, threatening thing. And anytime I've been offered drugs or weed at sandals, it's just like some like Jamaican dude on the beach, and it's just chill. He's like, hey man, do you smoke? And I'm like, no, I don't smoke. And they let you go on your way,
and that hasn't just been at sandals. Like when we were walking downtown on the hip strip,
you're going to get offered, yeah. So don't be. I feel like people get like very appalled by it, and then they write a review. You read a review, and it makes it sound like it was like this aggressive thing, like buy my weed.
Right. I will say honestly, the first I think 3 or 4 times we went to Jamaica, we never got offered it.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think we did.
I was like, "What's everybody talking about?"
Yeah, and then we eventually did, and I was like, "Oh, got 90." I feel like 90% of the people tell him no. He's just like, "Oh no." He's like, "Oh, okay, man."
Right.
He goes, and then he'll offer you like a seashell necklace or something.
Yeah.
They always sell 2 things.
Yeah.
So if the police come around, I'm just
Oh
selling.
no, I
necklaces.
was selling the conch shell.
The conch man.
Yeah, but what's inside the conch man?
We were at that wedding. We were at our buddy Chris's wedding.
Yes.
And this is how crafty they get, because they know where the resorts are where they can't go on the beach or too close to the resort,
Yeah, he rode in a canoe.
He rode in the canoe along like 5 feet into the water trying to sell conchs. And then when no one was looking, he would look at you and say, or weed.
Yeah, and he would have the weed inside of the conchs.
Yeah, he's selling. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, very interesting.
But, I mean, it's just fun. It's not like, it's never been threatening.
Oh,
and
no.
If you're appalled by that, then maybe it's not the place for you.
Maybe it's not the place for you, but yeah. So speaking of hedonism, I have had clients, they went and stayed at Sandals for a few nights, and then I guess, so they wanted to, be all lovey-dovey or whatever, and then they went to hedonism for the next few days.
Really?
And I guess, because I've heard a lot of swinging goes on there. I don't know.
Who knows?
But, yeah, so maybe then they wanted to go get crazy. So that was interesting.
So let me ask you
and
this.
Looking at this guy, because I met him, I would have never thought. It
well,
was just very interesting.
I mean, you don't look a certain way,
Oh, yeah. No, I know. It's just like, wow. Yeah.
You never knew. You divorced me. I might be booking that. That might be my first trip.
Oh, all right.
I'm kidding. It would not be my first trip.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But I lost my train of thought there. Oh, yeah. Going back to that. So is that appropriate? Do you go Sandals and then hedonism, or do you go hedonism and then Sandals? This is a real debate. I don't know because I've never been.
Yeah, because I feel
would you rather
like
end your trip with other things around, or would you rather have a more intimate experience as you end the trip?
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of... Because then it's like, well, if you've been doing that with all these other people, and then you go to Sandals...
I mean, you're kind of getting your own sloppy seconds there.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
Weird.
So, I don't know.
I don't know what to think about that.
That's very strange.
My brain is exploding. I don't know what to think.
I don't know.
I
mean, to each his own. I truly don't care. But,
yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
We've booked it before.
I've booked it, yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. I mean... And I think if you're into that, it's probably like I can see, like, if you're down with that, it's like a crap ton of fun. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess,
I can see it where it's like, oh, let's just get naked and hang out with a bunch of other naked people. That's probably like really cool if you're comfortable with it.
I actually have heard a story from another agent that she met somebody that was on like a shared shuttle bus going to Negril to be dropped off, and they were getting dropped off at hedonism, and they were on their honeymoon, and so she really thought that like they did not know what they were getting into.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It's definitely not a honeymoon place. Like, no way, no way. Unless I mean that's your thing. Hey, you could pack really light though. You don't have to bring many clothes. Just like literally bring a duffel bag maybe, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
Or maybe just bring the clothes you have on and a couple extra sets.
Yes, you don't need anything else.
And a bathing suit. Well, no, you don't need a bathing suit either.
No, because it's all natural beach and pool and everything.
Wow. Phone call number 3. You are blowing up.
American Airlines is trying to get a hold of me.
Oh, American Airlines? Okay.
No, that's okay.
We'll call American back.
Yeah, we'll call
Much love to American, though. They take good care of us.
Yes.
So anyways,
the last place is just where our favorite resort in Jamaica is, which is South Coast, so Sandals South Coast. Now, this area, it's about an hour and a half from the airport. It's pretty much all that's there, so there's not a whole lot to do off resort. It's mostly like water sports, and then I know there's like a South Coast safari that you can take that goes through the swamp and jungle and all that. But other than that, it's a pretty relaxed place, but that is one of my favorite places. So
mine too. Yeah, you're right. There's not much to do off property, and honestly, that property is so great, you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave. It's just it's so big. There's so much to do. It's beautiful. It's so you feel like you're out in a part of Jamaica that's just so remote, and it's just that kind of experience. And,
yes,
there's not going to be like a bunch of cool restaurants off property. It's just not that place.
Right. And one other thing I want to say too that I forgot to mention with Negril, they do have a marathon there, or like a 10K.
Oh, really?
They have some sort of race there. Yes, because I saw signs for it when I was there 2 years ago, and we were in town. And so if you're a runner, look into that. That would be something good for you to look at.
Very cool.
Yes. Now, overall, speaking about Jamaica, it is in terms of, budget, on the budget side of things, it is more budget friendly when you're talking about all-inclusive resorts. So Cancun, Punta Cana, and Jamaica are going to be your best budget friendly options. And so that...
And the DR, too.
Yeah, that's why I said Punta Cana.
Oh yeah, Punta Cana. I am so slow right now.
Yeah, you kind of are, but that's okay. So
I'm like slow every day.
What's your thoughts on the coronavirus?
Yeah, so we'll touch on this quickly. So, it's hard to comment on this because we run a travel company, right? So we think of it as how would you think about the coronavirus and traveling? Well, right now, me personally, I'd be hesitant to go to like Italy or China, but I'm not hesitant to travel anywhere else. Like we're about to fly next weekend to Mexico. Like as it is today, and we're recording this in early March.
Yep, March 2nd.
I'm not like terrified about it, and I'm not going to slow down my travel plans unless it's on one of the countries that is listed on the CDC's website.
Right.
That's where I go for my information is CDC and some, really...
And the WHO, World Health Organization, is another good.
Yeah, because I see what the CDC puts out and then WHO, but then I also look at, like, some of the things that the media says, and I'm like, okay, the media's really beating this thing up pretty hard.
I was going to say,
you got to think the media's 24/7 news.
Yeah.
So when something like this happens, and they're trying to find something to talk about 24/7, 365, they're going to latch onto this and potentially over exploit what it really is. And then you go to the CDC's website, and that's where I get my information. So as of for me personally today, I'm going to Mexico. I'm not even thinking twice about the coronavirus. The only coronavirus I'm worried about in Mexico is my beer.
Yeah.
having too many Coronas would be a coronavirus.
They said that people said that they wouldn't drink a Corona right now because of this.
God.
I wonder how they named it. I don't even know that.
I don't know. I haven't done that much research on it, but the death rates seem low. It seems they do seem low, and I get it's a new disease.
I guess that's just what's scary about it is because it is new, so nobody really knows about it. But
and it's very early. It's just now,
right? But I'd be, especially in America, more concerned about catching the flu than that.
As of today,
as of right now,
and it is a new thing. Like I don't know, like.
But yeah, would I go? Like I literally this morning had someone who we were working on a trip to Italy, and she was ready to book it, and
she wasn't concerned, right?
No, and I don't think she was very concerned, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that. So
yeah, I mean, to book it, but
and a lot of airlines have canceled flights. Like American Airlines has canceled flights through April 24th.
Yeah,
like into Milan. I don't even see them going into Rome right now.
To try to restrict it, to try to not let it spread. Even if, and I think that's a smart thing to do. To even if a couple people have it, to just try to quarantine it off, limit air travel, and then probably these big airlines like American and Delta, they don't want their name attached to it, and God forbid if someone got on a plane and got over here, then their plane, then you're gonna have people worried about flying on their planes, and you're gonna get really get the weeds on it. But I don't know. Right now, if the country's not listed on the CDC's website, and there's a flight there that's from America there, I'm gonna go and not think twice about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna fly to China right now and say, let me make a random trip. I'm not gonna go out of my way to go to some of these countries that are unlisted.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, I guess it all depends on where you're going, but, traveling in general, I'm not too concerned over that. So
yeah, not yet. Again,
not right now. As of March 2nd.
It's early March, and anyone could be listening to this at any time of the year. Like we are going by what we know today on March 2nd, and that could change by April 2nd and June, July, and this podcast will live on forever.
Right. I mean, I do think it will come over here to the U.S. though.
It already is. It's in a couple states, but it's really.
Oh yeah, but I do think it'll get. It might not get like it was in China, but I think it'll get like that.
Yeah.
Like it is in Italy right now. I think it'll probably get like that here.
And I'm not like losing sleep over it yet. So, I mean, they say it's young people and then older people. It sounds like,
it sounds like pneumonia. So.
It sounds like if you have a weaker immune system, then you're probably more susceptible to, like, more harm, like potentially death. Again, I'm not a doctor, just going by what I've read on specific health websites. I really try to watch what I consume in the media, unfortunately, just because you got to get people fired up to sell ads. They're trying to sell ads.
And,
so anyways.
And I do want to say, if you do have a trip plan and you're worried about it and you have travel insurance, which I always recommend travel insurance, call your travel insurance company, just because, even though we sell the insurance, we're not licensed insurance agents, so we can't answer specific questions regarding coverage. So
you got to contact the insurance company.
I would contact the insurance company to see what's covered, but the concern of getting the virus, that's not a covered reason to cancel.
Yeah, unless,
some policies have like cancel for any reason clauses in there, so you may have that. I don't know, but
you really got to understand the type of insurance you're getting.
Right. Generally speaking, the concern of getting it is not a reason to cancel.
And we have an early episode, the importance of travel insurance. I'd reference that. All right.
Yes.
Before we wrap up, question of the day, and this comes in from a fan. Jillian sent this in over the weekend here. She hit us up. She had a question specifically about, and I think this is a really great question, is the food and drink quality better at a non-all-inclusive resort than it is an all-inclusive resort? Because the thinking is you're at an all-inclusive resort where everything's included in your rate, so they're giving away, quote, I guess, more of it, and then you're actually paying cash at a non-all-inclusive resort for food and beverage, so it's going to be a little bit better quality there.
Right.
And we're talking in generalities here because it could vary by resort. What's your thought on that?
I was going to say, in general, I mean, I don't think I can just put
a generality,
a blanket statement on it. Yeah, because it depends on the resorts. It really does.
It does. And so,
because there's some really good, all-inclusives, like 5-star, that I think they have great 5-star food, and I think they would be very comparable to, like the Ritz-Carlton or other places that you might go. But then there's also some which Ritz-Carltons are not all-inclusive, so that's why I mentioned that. But then there's also some other, smaller non-all-inclusive resorts, like in Jamaica, there's some, and, the food there's not going to be, I don't think it would be the same quality. So it really just depends on what resorts you're comparing against each other.
And it's really funny because we've actually done this experience. So this upcoming trip to Cancun is going to be the third time we're doing a dual stay where we stay at 2 different properties in 1 week, pretty much, or 2 weeks.
Yep.
And one's going to be a high-end all-inclusive and one's a high-end non-all-inclusive. And right now, we've done that twice, about to do it a third time. The first 2 times they split. I think they did. Because in Cabo, we stayed at the Secrets Resort in Cabo.
Well, actually, in Cabo, I thought that the non-all-inclusive was better food.
That's what I'm saying.
The Cape had better food.
The Cape Cabo had better food. That was a non-all-inclusive property, and we had just stayed at Secrets. They had better food and drink quality, in my opinion. But then we also just stayed last year. We did Baha Mar, which is in the Bahamas, high-end casino resort, non-all-inclusive. And then we went to Beaches Turks, which is all-inclusive, and the all-inclusive won that one. The Beaches Turks had better food and service, in my opinion, than Baha Mar.
Yeah.
Not that Baha Mar had bad food or service, but Beaches was better, and Beaches was an all-inclusive. So it's so hard to say.
It just depends on what you're comparing.
It depends on what you're comparing, and, I don't know. It's so hard to blanket statement that one, but what I would say is do as much research as you can on the property and the restaurants, and then make a decision from there. But what it ultimately boils down to for me, and you'll probably echo this, I'm sure, is that there is a value to not paying for anything and not worrying about it.
Oh, yeah, having it prepaid and put your wallet away, I think there's definitely a value to that.
That experience alone to me gives not any, but most all-inclusives the edge because, I just hate paying for everything. And even, is the food going to be that much better? I don't know.
I don't know.
Even if it is 10% better, it's not going to be 100% better. It's not going to be that much.
Well, again, it just depends on the property.
It depends on the property.
And yes, I'm giving him, he's rambling, so I'm giving him the finger.
I'm getting the finger wheel, shut up, wrap it up. We've been going for 42 minutes. And by the way, if you stuck with us for 42 minutes, we love you.
Okay. Yes, we do.
We love you. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great week, and we will catch you
next time.
Next time.